Who was Zenless Zone Zero's best characters of 2024 and what made them so special? It's David Wowee. How you going? I've got a Zenless Zone tier list thingy guide thingy majiggy for you. I'll be focusing on the top 2 tiers of Prydwen's famous tier list, and then I'll share my personal picks. Let's get to it. First, let's look at the top 4 support agents, and because they're support, they're arguably the most important characters in the game. At first, we've got the free character, Rena. Part of the Victoria Housekeeping Co-faction, Rena is an electric support agent with insane mobility and team buffs, courtesy of her adorable Bang-Boo puppets. She boosts your team's damage with a powerful armor-piercing pen ratio buff, and she extends her shock effects. Even if she's great with electric teams, her pen ratio makes her work surprisingly well with other element agents like miHoYo. Rena's attacks stick around even after she swaps out, and the zippy movement lets her reposition like a Marvel superhero once you get used to it. Downsides, Rena's puppets are busybodies, so you'll need to juggle abilities smartly to keep her buffs active. Overall, she's a lightning fast powerhouse who's shockingly fun to play. Next, we have Nicole, who looks pretty good. Nicole is an A-rank support with the Ever attribute, packing a killer defense shred debuff that makes enemies crumble faster than my PP does when I see her artwork. She boosts Ever damage by 25% when her extra ability is active, and is a must-have if you're planning to wreck shop with Ju Yuan. Plus, she's free, so no wallet panic here, my friend. The catch, right now, Other damage buddies are scarce, but that's instantly going to change in 2025, if you know what I mean. Also, Nicole's debuffs require precise timing and frequent swapping, so you need to keep your reflexes sharp. Another free character is one of my favorites, Lucy. Belonging to the Sons of Caledon faction, Lucy's an A-rank fire support with her own squad of guard balls that bring the heat. Literally, if only I could eat them. These balls stick around to daze enemies and deal damage even when Lucy swaps out, making her a hands-free MVP. She buffs the entire squad's attack by up to 600 if her own attack is high enough, and is super versatile. What's best is she fits seamlessly into a variety of team setups, yes, even with miHoYo. Plus, she's a breeze to play, no complicated mechanics here. The downside, her balls can struggle to keep up with speedy enemies, and she needs a beefy attack stat to max out her buffs. Overall, she's just great. And did I mention she's free? And who is Prydwen's best support character? None other than Caesar. Caesar is a physical tank agent from the Sons of Caledon who brings crucial shields and buffs to any team setup. She can crank out a massive refreshable shield with anti-interrupt, boost attack with near constant uptime, and sprinkle in some days like she's some kind of fairy. Her team flexibility is top tier, making her a go-to for various setups. Oh, and she rides a motorbike, man. Sadly, you can't bring the bike into battle yet. The catch, Caesar's amazing days abilities rely on defensive assists, which burn through assist points and can limit effectiveness if they're unavailable, but this has never been a problem for me. Next, let's look at Prydwen's top 3 stun characters. First up, we have another free character, Lycon. Part of Victoria Housekeeping Co-faction, this dapper furry is an ice specialist who freezes the competition. See what I did there? His stun amplifying ability cranks team burst damage into overdrive, while his ice resist shred keeps enemies vulnerable for almost eternity. But Lycon isn't just a one-trick frost pony. His charged basic attacks dish out absurd days, letting him dominate on the field while still supporting DPS teammates when needed. He's key to creating one of the game's strongest mono ice teams, but remains versatile outside of them. The only hiccup, his charged attack chains require a bit of timing finesse, but it's a small price to pay for this ice cold dude with ears and a fluffy wuffy tail. Next, we've got Chingy. Chingy is an S-rank electric stunner from the Neps faction who's all about zapping enemies and setting up massive team damage. Her day's output is top notch, and a smooth combos playstyle is super satisfying once you get the hang of it. With damage reductions, anti-interrupt buffs, and a huge damage amplification during the stun window, whatever that means, she's a game changer for burst DPS. Plus, her flexibility makes her a great fit for almost any team. The catch, she can hog a lot of field time sometimes when you're trying to get her right, and her lengthy combos might feel a bit awkward sometimes, and a lot of people have said that they're happy with their Anbis. But you know what? I think she's an electric beast. Plus, I like her trust events.
I just want something light and fun. If that's okay, manager.
And finally, we have Lighter. Lighter is an S-rank fire specialist from Sons of Caledon who burns bright in fire and ice focused teams. He amps up team damage with hefty ice and fire damage percentage boosts while shredding enemy ice and fire resistance. His ability to extend stun duration by 3 seconds creates epic burst opportunities, and his combos make him super easy to use. Check my quick guide in the description. On the flip side, his day's output is situational, leading to some downtime, and his synergy is limited to fire and ice units. Still, Lighter is a fiery team player who gets the job done, my friend. I wish my butt is as big as his. My wife says my butt is flat, man. Last but not least, we have the top 5 biggest booty, top damage dealers in the game. Who are they? First, we've got Zhu Yuan, one of the only 2 gacha characters I don't have yet. Zhu Yuan is an S-rank ever DPS from the NEPS faction. She brings unmatched burst damage during stun windows and a unique niche as the only ether-based attacker at launch. Her combos include baked-in dash attacks that boost mobility, add invulnerability frames, and make her a tall but nimble lady person thingy police officer person. Pair her up with Nicole and you've got an absolute game changer. However, Zhu Yuan's combo heavy playstyle has a learning curve and her damage can dip if you're not using her right. Still, she is versatile and dynamic, and if you master her style and team her up with Nicole, she is great. Plus, I love her in the main story, and she wears tight black pants like me. Yanagi is an electric anomaly specialist from Section 6 who's all about unleashing chaos while licking them red bean buns. She can trigger disorder on demand, and with top tier burst and sustained anomaly application, she's perfect as a main field unit in disorder setup. Plus, her boosts to disorder damage multipliers are the cherry on top, baby. The only catch, Yanagi loves the spotlight, so she demands a bit more field time to flow through her combos and stances, but who's complaining? And you need to know how to use her X special at the right time. Watch my very quick guide after this video to figure out how. Next, how can we not think about this agent? She was definitely one of the most hyped characters in the game, and that is Rat Waifu Jane Doe. Belonging to the NEPS faction, Jane is a physical anomaly powerhouse with unmatched mobility. She has super impressive combos and damage and absurdly fast anomaly buildup. She triggers assault frequently and she can critically strike, which stacks that sweet damage, whether in burst windows or sustained combat. Jane shines with strong, consistent damage and impressive flexibility as either a sole DPS or a key part of disorder teams. I team her with Seth and she goes insane. If you want to poke some holes, Jane's reliance on field time to activate her passion state and a need for anomaly proficiency to hit her full potential can dampen the mood for some, but it definitely does not dampen my mood. In fact, it just makes me damp. I love keeping her in my field of vision. Are you still staring? Go to church, you perv. Next up, we have another member of the Sons of Caledon. We've got our resident drink mixer, Bernice. Bernice is a low maintenance fire anomaly specialist who surprisingly works well with most teams. She works perfectly with burn or disorder focused teams, and she'll continue to support your team even if she's not on field. Despite being an anomaly character, Bernice has sick direct damage multipliers, letting her benefit from critical rate and critical damage stats if your gear supports it. The catch, Bernice depends on energy or her ultimate to build heat to keep her running smoothly, and button bashers may be surprised she's a bit more complex than that, but I've simplified it for you. Check out my guide in the description to how to use it properly. And last but not least, who is 2024's best DPS agent according to Prydwen? We've got the most hyped agent in the game since day one of its release, and it's none other than Hoshimi Miyabi! As the game's first Frost unit and the head of Section 6, Miyabi to me is like a female Sephiroth in skills, not personality, obviously. With massive AoE attacks and insane damage multipliers, Miyabi is a one-woman army for clearing out mobs. Whether you're a spender or free player, she fits really well into a whole bag of team setups, setting a new benchmark for top-tier DPS. Here's a tip: forget the overly complicated guides you see online. Just build up blue balls, hold down basic, and watch her obliterate the battlefield. Watch my 60-second guide in the description. On the flip side, as an early highly crit focused anomaly character, miHoYo can have limited W engine options unless you snag her signature. She also depends on precise frost anomaly timing during combos, which can be tricky but not impossible if you're good with your fingers. And if you really want to use miHoYo to her max, you need to build her to have at least an 80% crit rate. But even for the non-technical casual player like me, you cannot go wrong with miHoYo at this point in time. She is leagues ahead in the DPS game. Sorry, Ellen. That's Prydwen done and dusted, but who are my personal top 3 favorite agents in Zenless Zone Zero? Don't forget to like and sub. I'm a small channel, so your help goes a long way. And if you're feeling generous, donate thanks or become a super member. A huge shout out to my existing super members. The first one wasn't mentioned in this list, and they aren't even an S rank agent. They're actually just an A rank agent. That's right, baby, A rank. But in my heart, they are a triple S agent. And that agent is Seth. Besides having a cool looking weapon, he's just a really good support character that to me pairs really well with Jane Doe, and playing both of them brings me holiday season joy. From the Neps faction, Seth is a no-fuss electric defender who's just simple and fun to use. With long-lasting buffs and debuffs that are easy to maintain, Seth keeps things running smoothly without hogging field time. He offers solid defensive buffs and boosts anomaly efficiency for himself and one lucky teammate like Jane. He also debuffs enemies to reduce their resistance to all anomaly buildups. The downside, his buffs and shields are limited to himself and one ally, and his key attacks like his X special and his charged basic can be really slow. Still, Seth is a dependable and straightforward team player. And my next favorite character is one I've already mentioned, and that is Jane Doe. If you watch my 60-second Jane Doe guide, you realize how easy she is to use, and she's even better when you position her with Seth. Build Jane Doe and Seth well, and the two of them together can be an amazing team. Sometimes I even completely forget about the third agent I've got there. And who is my itchy bun number 1 super duper ultra favorite character? Who else could it be besides miHoYo? Yes, I've joined the hype train, and I've already mentioned why she's good, and I'm extra happy that they made an overpowered gacha character that didn't need extreme levels of thighs or booty or cleavage. They just made her have a badass katana and be ultra powerful. And if you watch my 60-second guide on her, you can forget about all the complicated instructions people are saying. She's remarkably easy to use. Who are your favorite agents in the game? Like and sub, and check out my super easy Zenless Zone Zero guides in my description, or check out my pity system guide right now.